Everybody. They need everything. They need pitching. They need outfield help. They need infield help. They need just basically everything. I'm just summing it up pretty quickly. So we mentioned some names last week, so I'm not going to get into too many of the names because the only names, there's two pitchers I wanted to bring up to you guys as candidates for just kind of rebuild or kind of like interesting options. Chris and I, without subconsciously doing this, thought of Mike Clevenger. And the other one I thought was Jarrell Cotton, because Jarrell Cotton is in the Giants system right now. If you look at his numbers on Baseball Savant, in terms of slider, his changeup, his batting against, he's in the red, which is good for movement. And it's a bullpen arm that you could add, who can also start. He was a starter at one point, too.
Yeah, no, I like Drury so much that was my pick. Yeah, no, that's
no,
like for real though. I brought that up on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I fell in love with the idea. And he doesn't necessarily fit the super high walk rate bill that I think we're kind of maybe even prematurely putting on like Scott Harris guys, but he everywhere he's gone, he's slugged. Like he's a thumper, and he's gonna. For a team that was historically inept when it came to slugging and when it came to hitting home runs, like, yeah, I that's if it's only one or two dudes in the lineup, I'm okay with the low walk rate if it comes with a 500 slugging percentage. Like, I'm going to be chill with that, and that's the type of slug that he can potentially bring. I mean, 30 home run guy, and yeah, like you said, if Jamer's gone, especially, like, he can go over and play third. And even if Jamer's not gone, like, he plays multiple positions in the infield. Like, I don't know. Imagine replacing one of your, like, quote-unquote utility infielders with, like the Willies and the Heralds of the world with a dude that has a 500 slugging percentage. Like, I don't know. That sounds pretty cool to me. So, like, that's very much one that I've convinced myself of a couple of weeks ago that I really want to happen, and I will be disappointed when it inevitably doesn't.
Yeah, and you're in the realm of possibility where you're realistic, where it's, for example, somebody like Dansby Swanson who's out there with a 9.77 WAR season. That's not going to happen. I think I think it was speculated that they're going to kind of stick to maybe Eternal and see what they have and go from there. As much as, like, I thought Colton Wong, if they don't pick him up, if Milwaukee does not pick him up, look, you're
don't even. Yeah, I love Colton Wong. I love Colton Wong.
Oh man, I'm doing like the you do the snow dance when you're a kid. We want like the snow day.
Exactly.
That's what I want on that too. But
he's got an option, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the club option.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, that's to do with a good defensive history, good offense for that position. Yeah, love Colton Wong too. Love it.
Chris? All we have from Scott Harris right now, other than the two waiver claims, and I can't say Papierski without doing it in like a Chicago accent, like Chicago Mike Papierski. We have that, and we have what he said at his press conference, which was, we're going to dominate the strike zone, but he also said he wants Detroit, they're going to sit down and they're going to make move by move by move by move, and at the end they hope to be a better team. And he said he wants Detroit to be a destination where players feel like they can get the best, they can maximize their potential. And that's what they did in San Francisco. That was where Kevin Gossman got right. They brought in like Drew Smyly, they brought in Alex Wood, they brought in DeSclafani, they brought in tons of guys like that, and that's why we mentioned Clevenger, right? Because he's a guy who had a down year. He's got good years in the past, and even Carlos Rodon, they gave him a 1-year prove-it deal, basically with an option, and that's what I see them doing here, going and getting guys. Sean Manaea is another one who had kind of a down year. Maybe you can get these guys on a 1-year deal for 10, 12 million or something like that and see if they get better. And it's kind of a better version of what the Tigers were doing back in the day, where they would, sign Ivan Nova and Mike Fiers, just throwing the darts at the wall and hoping one of these guys is going to pop and you could trade him for something. I think that there's an element of that to their process, but I think they also are smarter about it and are aiming higher.
Yeah, and I look at an example, although he didn't finish the year with the team, is Jacob Barnes. Jacob Barnes signed here because the Tigers were able to identify a pitch for him that worked, and that's why he came here. And that was something that I remember in the offseason, that Barnes was, can you guys fix me? And of course, the Federer effect, raining down and everything. But no, there's something to be said about that, and the reputation that the Tigers are establishing right now that's been long. The Tigers, like, even this goes with the Lions too. When no one thinks of destination city, Detroit's not a destination city. I'm sorry to tell you. You're going to yell at me, whatever, I don't care. But it's not. But if you make it, it can be a destination city if a player gets better there. It's just like a simple little thing. it's nothing against my Midwestern sensibilities. I'm born and raised here, but you have to give somebody a reason to. You've seen that with the Pistons right now. You've seen that with the Wings right now. That homegrown culture and that's taking some time. But again, I know Barnes is a weird example of that, but.
No, I mean, yeah, that's the idea. You want Detroit to be one of those organizations that's known for player development. They're not right now, and that's what Harris wants to do. But it's going to take some time. But I feel like, that's kind of the direction they're going to take in free agency. We'll see what they do with position players. I haven't been able to suss out any real pattern there.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Yastrzemski is an example of they saw something there, and again, I would love to see the minor league numbers he had lifting the ball and.
Well, so here's one that I want to talk about. Darren Ruff. Darren Ruff was a minor league free agent signing for the Giants, and he had a really good season. And then this year he was, okay. And they flipped him to the Mets for 4 players, 2 useful big leaguers, J.D. Davis and Thomas Szapucki, and 2 legitimate pitching prospects. Darren Ruff, they got 4 players for that, and he went off and sucked awful for the Mets. They got more for Darren Ruff than Alavila got for all of his big trades. Darren Ruff. So that's probably not going to happen every year, but it's a sign that maybe these guys are going to be a little bit smarter than what we've had going on.